Start with the broadsheets, which I helpfully don't have. I do have a Irish Times. Yeah, there it is. Special one lost faith in the myth of his own genius. And there did seem to be a bit where he could no longer just kind of magic results or magic performances from players in a way that certainly in the early days he was capable of doing that. And then they are also reporting that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is in line to become the caretaker manager.
That idea of not being able to magic results is obviously to do with his relationship with certain players. But the thing is, the relationships have broken down at such a number of levels now, from Real Madrid to Chelsea's second stint, to the second year in Chelsea's second stint, to Manchester United now, that the fault is clearly Jose Mourinho's.
What happened the first year in Chelsea that he was able to still do it? I don't really understand.
Were they scared of him?
I don't know. All of these things are relatively complicated. It's always cartoonish the way it's reported in the newspapers, that it's just one aspect of it, but that team played good football.
That Chelsea team?
Yeah.
Well, they won a Premier League title. They can't have played dreadful football, and I never really thought that peak Jose was that awful to watch. Maybe Inter Milan was probably the nadir of peak Jose Mourinho, and even then there was a novelty value to that because Inter Milan hadn't been winning championships.
Exactly, and they were like not a great team.
No.
On the face of it. It looked like here was a team who were never going to be able to compete at that level, and there's something special about that. But so there's the famous story in Lampard's book about Lampard's in the shower and Jose comes in and he's in the shower, so he's naked. And Jose kind of grabs him by the face and goes, I'm going to make you the best footballer in the world. You're going to be the best footballer in the world. And Lampard's like, yeah, I'm the best footballer. And then goes off and becomes like the best goal-scoring midfielder in the world, right? Lampard writes it in his book as being a special moment in his life, as in, this guy gave me confidence. And obviously there was 6,000 different ways he gave him confidence, apart from embracing him naked. I'm sure that there were... And
Frank Lampard's insane talent and the fact that he was about to become one of the best Premier League players anyway probably helped. I know Jose Mourinho probably accelerated that, and the fact that he had a sensational team, particularly behind him, allowed Lampard to become the attacking midfielder that he ended up becoming.
Everybody improved at that team under Lampard. Like everybody under Jose, sorry. And that was a really amazing team.
There's no question about that.
Brilliant defence, brilliant attack, and capable of scoring goals from everywhere, from each level in the team. So there was something amazing about that, and his success followed him everywhere he went. I mean, you guys were having the debate last night about whether or not Real Madrid was a success or not. He was up against the greatest team of all time.
Yeah.
And he stopped them winning a league.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
That Barcelona side will come to be viewed as the greatest football team in the history of the planet, with no exceptions.
My opinion on this has gone on a journey over the last 24 hours. That, yesterday, I know we had an argument about Paul Pogba and the quality of player that exists in the Manchester United squad. And I really was of the opinion that the Manchester United players are far better than Jose Mourinho was getting out of them. But then again, you look at them and say you take John Terry, Frank Lampard, Didier Drogba from that Chelsea team. Who are you comparing them to? Phil Jones, Paul Pogba, Romelu Lukaku. No matter what manager is managing those three players, you're probably going to take the Chelsea equivalent.
Oh, 100%.
And there's probably a bit of distance between them. And I know we're judging, recency bias dictates that we're judging Paul Pogba based on what he's done this season, post-World Cup even. So it's perhaps not unfair. But I'm starting to lose this belief that these Manchester United players really are as good as I previously thought they were. We will see. Time will tell.
I think that even if they're not as good as those players, he's not getting the best out of them.
Yeah.
So his ability to get the best out of those players, he got the very best out of Didier Drogba, he got the very best out of Frank Lampard, and everybody else, all the ancillary. There was a couple of duds in that team. Was Alexis Merton in that team? I mean,
putting me on the spot here.
You watch the Premier League here sometimes, you're like, that guy played under Mourinho. Oh, okay. There was definitely a few duds that kind of come in and were just role players who actually ended up winning back-to-back league titles.
When you talk about dud players, there's very few. I think it's someone like Yuri Zhirkov or something like that, and the players of that ilk, that tended to kind of pop up out of nowhere and were very, very effective. But many managers, that's a sign of a good manager. Antonio Conte, you could suggest, did it to even greater effect with Chelsea in terms of what he did with the likes of Victor Moses and Marcos Alonso. Now, Alonso has obviously changed a little bit, and turns out he's actually a very, very good football player.
Yeah, he just was, he had other stuff in his mind that was preventing him from becoming a world-class footballer.
Yes. Jose, the idea that he doesn't have this kind of secret sauce to get the best out of his players, maybe it's just different dynamics in the dressing room these days. But like, is it really as simple as that to say, well, player power is a more prominent part of football these days? Football players are into social media, and Frank Lampard didn't have an Instagram account. That just seems very basic. There's something else there that changed in Jose Mourinho.
I think that's probably as well. Pochettino wants the job. This is the big headline in the back of the Times London edition. The Times Ireland edition this morning. This is Matt Hughes, Paul Hurst, and Martin Ziegler, the three of them reporting that. I wouldn't mind the Man United job. Not a bad bargaining position to be in. You're heading to the new stadium eventually after a massive cost overrun. You've got a good team, but you've got a very, very scabby ownership system who does not want to spend any money. They don't want to spend any money on any players. They don't even want to pay their own players the market rate. And they've done a great job in negotiating knockdown deals. And you're like, I can go to Man United and they're going to give me 500 million. And they're going to make me 20 million a year.
500 million?
Whatever.
To spend on players.
Yeah. It won't be far off it. Pochettino, if he stays at Man United for 3 seasons, will probably end up spending about 500 million. But anyway, I'm making it up, right? What do you do if you're Daniel Levy?
You ask Manchester United for £100 million to purchase Maurizio Pochettino, because it seems Manchester United are fairly willing to pay a substantial sum for anything that's going to give them a better chance of not being embarrassed.
I hadn't seen this reported anywhere and hadn't noticed it up until this point. Mourinho was sacked in a face-to-face meeting with Ed Woodward, United's executive vice chairman at the club's training centre yesterday, after a miserable first half of the season. Next line. United share price in the New York Stock Exchange rose by about 5% in morning trading, adding £119 million sterling or $150 million. We got the money back straight away.
You could buy 3 Maurizio Pochettinos with that market share increase yesterday.
That is the nutshell of this whole thing right there. Those 2 lines is like, what's the impact it's going to have? They're not like...
Well, in particular, the whole idea of the £7 million being a realistic factor in terms of saving themselves £7 million by sacking him after they get knocked out of the Champions League. That was never going to be a factor. It's Manchester United. £7 million is nothing.
They got it back straight away. Ole, early favourite to replace Mourinho. I'm surprised that they're still betting on that, because certainly there was some stuff on the Man United website last night which was just a throwback to like Solskjaer's best bits, just in case. Good content. If you're Man United, if you're running that Man United website and you've got no information beyond what you're being told, then it's like, I'm going to bang up some Ole stuff here. My clicks are going through the roof.
Yeah.
Got to get those KPIs. White Thistle can prove a Christmas cracker. So Tom Scudamore believes Thistle Crack can improve past the rivals who beat him in the Betfair Chase when the pair team up again in the King George VI Chase at Kempton next Wednesday. Next Wednesday is Stephen's Day. You ready for this?
Am I ready for Christmas/Stephen's Day? Not at all, actually. No. Is it any gift ideas? Or like generic?
Did you not do a whole show on gift ideas last week?
Yeah, but like... I probably will just end up buying that sort of stuff, to be honest. I don't know.
I missed it. What were you talking about?
Well, we played PlayStation, basically.
Right.
And there was a Google Home.
Can you get PlayStation for your ma? Does that work?
See, that's the thing. I don't want to say who I'm trying to buy for, but...
Who is this new lady you're buying for?
No, that's not what I'm trying to say whatsoever. I'm saying that I'm not buying a PlayStation for my ma.
You're like blushing now. What's going on?
I'm not.
You're buying a sports gift for the significant other in your life.
I'm trying to buy something for my mother. Now you're giving it away, Jared. I haven't bought anything for
her. What do you want? What do you want, Mrs. Sheehan? Tell us. That's a wrap. United call time. Mourinho's Liverpool stuffing proves too much to swallow. Yeah, Okay. Forget Chelsea. United can learn from the Reds of Merseyside. I know, it's great. The Liverpool fans are just, look, all week you're giving out about Klopp, he's 1-0, and now it's, we want Pochettino, but he's 1-0. Oh!
Well, you forgot about the key part of the Irish Examiner this morning. Liam Brady is saying that Arsene Wenger should be installed as temporary manager of Manchester United.
I mean, the best trolling that everybody's... You would say it's trolling from everybody except Paul Ince, who I presume doesn't really want to troll Man United. Or maybe he does. Maybe he's bitter about the fact that he got shown the door and then the team went on to be the most successful team in the history of English football.
Does Paul Ince like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
They weren't teammates, were they? Did they cross over? I don't think so.
If it was very brief. But I do wonder if Paul Ince kind of views a player like Solskjaer as someone who kind of took what they did and moved it on to the next level of greatness. And there's a sense of bitterness there because we kind of viewed all that group of players as the one. Whereas the Inces and the Bruces and the Solskjaers and the Roy Keanes, and there's kind of a differentiation in era there. Because Paul Ince is saying, go for Steve Bruce, forget Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. in the papers this morning.
Steve Bruce has just come off the back of one of the best managerial, he was such a brilliant Aston Villa manager. That team played amazing football, really rallied the crowd behind them. Nobody threw a cabbage at him in the middle of a game. Come on. I'm as likely to get the Man United job as Steve Bruce is at this point. Well, I would say I'm more likely to get the Man United job than Steve Bruce at this point.
What are the odds on Ger and Eoin this morning, I do wonder. Back page of the Irish Daily Mail is Jose out, Poch in, Mourinho sacked on tumultuous day. United will today name Solskjaer as caretaker. The back page of the Herald is Ole's going to step in. Pochettino is long-term target, while United had to get rid of Mourinho, says John Aldridge. The back page of the Mirror is an interesting one. High fives from stars as Jose gets the axe. Pogba's joy in training after special one is sacked. So John Cross and Steve Bates saying that Paul Pogba led dressing room celebrations yesterday after the news broke that Jose Mourinho was going to be sacked as United manager. He had been involved in a long-running feud with Mourinho, as we well know. He posted something on social media yesterday which said, caption this, kind of giving the come to bed eyes to the camera. He was looking very, very pleased indeed, and then said Adidas were like, actually this was a pre-planned sponsorship post. And Gary Neville responded, was like, caption this, you get out as well, or something to that effect. The United dressing room could not contain the relief at his departure. One source said the move from one day to the next was like night and day. The players were happy again, and they all lived happily ever after at Manchester United. Back page of the Irish Daily Star is Poch in pole position. Solskjaer set to be installed as interim boss while Jose hits the road after United axe. Also, Dubs ignore shit talk. Mickey Whelan says it's bullshit to say Dublin will be affected by talk of 5 in a row. Some hard-hitting stuff from Mickey Whelan, which we'll come back to later on. Back page of the Sun is waste of space. And then Solskjaer in for now, but Poch this space. Spurs boss not ruling out United. And then it's kind of like an Andy Warhol painting on the back of The Guardian this morning. End of an aura. How Mourinho lost his shine at United. Daniel Taylor and Barney Ronay amongst the voices writing this morning.
Yeah, good headline there. End of an aura. 2 quick comments for you. There are Qatar World Cup workers who work less hours than Owen Sheehan. The Kerry
It's true. They get away scot-free, those fellas.
Your agent, Dicker Forum, has been on. And then he's also pointed out Yuri Jarosik won a league title. Did Yuri play enough games to win a league title under Mourinho? And Thiago, I don't think Thiago was as bad as everybody. I think in the modern era, Thiago would get a lot of stats and he would never give the ball away and he would make some tackles and you'd be like, that's exactly what we need in midfield.
Like Nemanja Matic.
Yeah, I mean, Thiago's like a smaller Matic with,
He's less Serbian. It puts less of a fear of God into you.
Yeah, exactly. You can give us your comments or you can give out about us if you want on Twitter @OffTheBall. You can complain about us too on our own Twitter handle @OffTheBallAM, or you can leave a comment for us in the YouTube stream.